Welcome everyone to our lesson number 14 for this English for Specific Purposes course related to the mining industry by Isikana. Today we are going to go deeper on this topic that we've been working with, that is sustainability in the mining industry. First, let's try to complete this word cloud. This idea is that you can tell us about your little actions or little steps that you take in order to be more eco-friendly. Last class we talked about this term, this idea of how to be more eco-friendly, how to accept and to take actions in order to reduce our impact as individuals in our environment. Okay, so this idea of sharing what little actions you perform in order to be more eco-friendly. Bien, entonces vamos a tratar de completar este mapa de ideas, esta nube de ideas, con estas pequeñas actividades que realizamos de manera individual para ser más amigables con el medio ambiente. Okay, so join this, you have the QR code and try to include all of your ideas so that we know that what little steps you take, these more green, let's say. Okay, then we've been working with these specific adjectives in order to talk about problem-solving situations, but now I want you to think about some problematic situations at the mining sector. For example, we talked about this water pollution, this idea of problems that sometimes the mining industry has related to the communities, the local communities that are near the mining projects. Okay, so pay attention to these adjectives and try to use 5 of them in order to describe these problematic situations. For example, the water usage of the mining industry is critical due to this shortage of water. Okay, so this idea of that there is less water around the world, it means that it turns this as a critical problem. Ok, so vamos a seleccionar 5 de estos adjetivos, ok, muchos de ellos, como ustedes pueden ver, son palabras transparentes, y si no, el resto ya los estuvimos trabajando en las clases anteriores, y vamos a tratar de relacionarlos y de utilizarlos para describir una problemática presente en la industria minera. Ok, so that is the first task that you have to complete. Now, this is our approach to water text. This was retrieved from a company that needs and that has as a main goal to be more eco-friendly. In this idea, or in this line, let's read. Mining remains a water-intensive industry, and we anticipate global water supplies to remain stressed because of the ongoing impact of climate change and variability. With increasing extreme weather events, to address these challenges, we have made water stewardship an integral part of how we operate across all our sites. This idea of, or these new concepts, let's say, stewardship refers to the distribution, administration, the way we control this, in this case, water resources. Okay, so this is just the beginning. This is just the starting point that I want you to know about these companies, these mining companies. So let's brainstorm about the actions they perform to apply their water stewardship premise. You need to name, you can see that what the actions did they take in order to complete this premise, okay? So let's think about that. Okay, after brainstorming about this idea, these actions that you may think they performed, let's go on a more personal line. Let's see, regarding the place you work or you are actually working, currently, in your company, your company apply any changes, or did they apply any changes in order to be more eco-friendly? And if they did so, let's try to mention them and include any details you consider important to share. Okay, so let's think about any changes that you consider at your company, or the place you are working at currently. They applied, any actions that they took in order to be more green, be more eco-friendly. It doesn't, if it is related to the mining industry, that's great. But if you're not working now related to this, the mining sector, any idea, any actions that were taken at the place you work that helps the environment? Maybe let's say reduce the pollution, reduce the amount of garbage that we throw, or maybe to classify our garbage between, I don't know, glass, plastic, or any little step that were taken in order to be more eco-friendly. Okay, and so if they did so, if you were aware of those changes, mention them and include any details you consider that are important to share, so that your colleagues, that your classmates now know about them. Okay, so think about any changes. Maybe, as I told you, maybe they are small, but try to share them. Cualquier cambio, por más mínimo que sea, como decíamos, clasificar la basura o quizás reciclar algunos elementos que se hayan tomado en el actual trabajo en el que ustedes se desempeñan, para saber quién es o cuál es la intención y el objetivo de convertirse un poco más en amigables con el medio ambiente. Okay, so let's see. Now, after we do these pre-activities, let's work with this specific. Okay, so this is our reading activities. So as we told before, the first paragraph we talked about was like the introduction for this topic, for this paragraph, for this text that we have here. Water administration in practice. Okay, we use administration here as a synonym for stewardship. Okay? So in this text, most of these activities that they perform in order to be more eco-friendly are mentioned. Since we are reviewing the simple past as our grammar point for this unit, for this module, so we have included some actions that were taken in the past, yes, in 2021, 2022. Okay, so you have to read about this water administration in practice, then answer these questions. Okay, pay attention that we have WH questions, and then we have some yes, no questions. Yeah, so we use did as the auxiliary since we are talking about the past. Todas las acciones que sucedieron en el pasado, vamos a tener que usar did como nuestro auxiliar para este tiempo verbal. Okay, so also when we can use the verb to be in the past form, that is was. When was the database compiled? What does SMP stand for? Okay, ¿qué significan estas siglas? Bien, en el texto ustedes, luego de hacer una lectura comprensiva del mismo, van a poder decidir y van a poder completar esta pregunta, responderla con qué significan estas siglas. Okay, what it imply when we ask about this, it which means for this, okay? ¿Qué significa esto y qué implica esta situación? Okay. Activity number 3, choose true or false. Okay, so here you just need to click on this, on the options that you consider that is true for these statements. Pay attention to all the information, to all the words. Okay, that is all for the reading section. Okay, so pay attention to this text, answer all of these questions, and then choose true or false. Finally, for the writing section, we are going to go deeper on its problem-solving expressions. Como ustedes recuerdan, en la clase pasada estuvimos actuando algunos diálogos utilizando estas frases y aparte utilizando los adjetivos, ¿sí?, específicos que estuvimos viendo. For this activity, you are working on a mining project. There is a last-minute meeting and your coworker needs to present the balance of last week's advances. His or her computer is not working, so let's create a possible dialogue with your colleague and try to suggest some solutions. Use the phrases we studied. Okay, so try to include all the information, dialogue, so in order to make it a little bit more organized, speaker A, or maybe you can include your names, okay? So it can be speaker A, or it can be, for example, Flor, and maybe I'm gonna be the mine manager, let's say, or we can include, and this can be a health and safety specialists, okay? You can include safety, okay? All the information. And so that's gonna be speaker A, then speaker B, and try to create a dialogue trying to deal with the situation that may happen as a real situation at your work site. Okay, let's go back then to our presentation. Before going back to our presentation, let's see that you have to complete is whenever you finish all your activities, you click on finish. You can check your answers, of course, to know what activities or what points you got right. And then in my answers to my teacher, you have to enter your full name, your group level, you know, this mining course, the same for school subject. And this is the email that you have to write there. Es el mismo que venimos utilizando durante todas las clases, así que no existe ningún cambio. Okay, and then you click send and I will get your answers. Now, let's go back to the presentation. As a guide or as a structure that you want to give for this dialogue, you can use these two problems. We haven't worked with them yet. Son los otros dos modelos que tuvimos la clase pasada. Teníamos tres, nos enfocamos en uno, quedaron estos dos que lo podemos utilizar como una guía, ¿sí?, para estructurar nuestro diálogo. Okay, so this is all the activity that you need to do for these problem-solving solutions. And it is important that you get on the platform, that you complete all the activities that are uploaded there. Remember that we are having our test next Friday. ¿Sí? Entonces, ya lo estuvimos hablando en las clases pasadas. Vamos a tener un pequeño trabajo práctico evaluativo, en el cual se van a ir trabajando, se van a ir desarrollando, y la idea es que ustedes puedan mostrar todo el contenido, todos los conocimientos que fueron adquiriendo desde que comenzamos. Recordemos que estamos ya en la clase 14. La idea es esa, que ustedes puedan mostrar todo lo que se vino trabajando, que puedan, este texto, este pequeño examen, perdón, está dividido en algunas secciones. Tenemos reading, como trabajamos hoy, un writing, vamos a tener después un listening, ¿sí?, que son actividades que ya se vienen trabajando durante toda la cursada. Hasta este módulo, ¿sí?, que es el módulo 4. Entonces la idea es esa, que ustedes puedan entrar a la plataforma y cualquier duda que tengan la pueden acercar a través de ese medio para que puedan ser resueltas. ¿Ok? Pero entonces que tengan un muy buen día. Pueden todos los videos y las videoclases están subidas en la plataforma y también se van a subir lo que son las presentaciones. Okay, so have a lovely day, enjoy it, and see you next class. That's gonna be next Wednesday.